Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Robotics Recap, a Robotics 24/7 podcast. This is Tim Culverhouse, Editorial Director of Robotics 24/7 at Peerless Media, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 2 of our monthly podcast series. Now, if you happen to miss our January 2026 edition, the debut episode of Robotics Recap, you can listen to it here. Now, as we turn our eyes to February, I just want to preface it by saying that it was another jam-packed month of robotics and automation news. We'll start this podcast off by taking a look at the rise of intelligent robotics platforms. In a lot of the news this month, we're starting to see this critical shift between how robots are no longer standalone machines. They're becoming connected, orchestrated systems. Some news related to that: Autonomy unveiled a platform built on NVIDIA technology that the company says connects robots, drones, and smart infrastructure into one coordinated ecosystem. Now, Autonomy said that this isn't just about mobility, it's about shared intelligence across environments. In a similar sense, Yokogawa Electric Corporation integrated its Opera X robot management core into Anybotics Anymal inspection robots. Now, the company said that this enables enterprise-level control over autonomous inspection fleets. On the fleet management side, we're starting to see fleet management tools become more democratized. In Orbit introduced the Open RoboOps platform, which is an open source fleet manager that the company said is designed to standardize how companies deploy and manage robots at scale. So, robotics is now becoming infrastructure. It's no longer machines working with machines. It's machine fleets making sure they're getting the jobs done that they need to as a whole platform. Our next grouping of news from February 2026: AI powered picking and warehouse transformation. This shift is growing, and especially in the logistics space, and AI based robotic picking has accelerated dramatically. Festo introduced Gripper AI, which the company says is a software designed to handle mixed product robotic picking, which also is one of the most difficult problems in warehouse automation. No Magic, a Poland-based organization, secured additional funding and at the same time launched its shoebox picker system. Ambi Robotics introduced its AI skill suite powered by AmbiOS, which the company said expands the adaptability of robotic sortation. And at the same time, the hardware is alongside its software developments. P8S unveiled its X380 picking robot. Robotic launched tactile sensor fingertips that the company says improve robotic grasp protection. And all this news also ties into some major deployments that we saw in this space in February 2026. FedEx launched a fully autonomous robotic trailer unloader developed with Berkshire Grey. SimCorp automated fresh food supply chains for REWE, that's a German grocery distributor. Brightpick partnered with Napa Auto Parts to enter the automotive logistics sector. Slip Robotics expanded its trailer loading automation portfolio with its slip lift system. And New Move Robotics and Vision and KPI Solutions partnered to launch a robotic picker for beverage warehousing, and the platform is called Raptor. From Manifest 2026, which took place in early February, we saw cold chain environments being addressed with robotics and automation. Corvus Robotics launched a set of cold chain drones. Dane Technologies introduced its Air DC systems for sub-zero temperatures. And Dexery expanded autonomous storage health monitoring capabilities on its platform. Warehouses are becoming AI native environments. What this means is that we're seeing these different types of robots and automation systems make their way into different portions of the warehouse. Now, it wouldn't be a robotics themed podcast without humanoids. Humanoids are entering the workforce. Specifically, Agility Robotics announced an agreement to deploy its Digit humanoid at Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada. Now, this deployment will feature a handful of Digit humanoids working in TMMC's Woodstock, Ontario facility, with the option to scale and deploy more Digit humanoids down the road. Meanwhile, Aptronic closed over $935 million in Series A funding, including a $520 million extension. The company said this signals massive investor confidence in humanoid labor platforms, and that gives Aptronic's valuation over the billion-dollar mark. The company Humanoid introduced its Kinetic AI framework for humanoid orchestration, which it says addresses one of humanoid robots' biggest barriers: coordination and control. Now, all this news signals a further transition of humanoid robots. It's not just automating fixed tasks anymore. It's building general purpose robotic labor in a humanoid form factor. Now, on to the AI and industrial intelligence news from February 2026. We're seeing how AI isn't just improving robotics, defining how they're being built and deployed. Gather AI raised $40 million to scale its physical AI platform for logistics. Paladine AI secured a U.S. Air Force contract to advance swarming capabilities for cross-domain operations. Motive Space Systems and Picnic Robotics are collaborating on software for NASA's Fly Foundational Robotics (FFR) mission. Meanwhile, at SLAS 2026 in Boston in early February, ABB showcased its AI-driven lab automation platform advancements. On the hardware side related to this topic, Alonic announced it raised funding to build foundations for advanced robotic hardware platforms. Now, as robotics and AI continue this convergence, often called physical AI, we're seeing a move out of research labs and into real-world systems. Now, speaking of moving from digital to real, more news in the digital twin, simulation, and virtual engineering segment of Robotics 24/7. Dassault Systems partnered with NVIDIA to build an industrial AI platform that the company said will power Dassault's virtual twins platform. Dassault, Dexery, and RealSense also took part in a digital twins and simulation webinar from the middle of February 2026. You can register for that program here. It's available for your viewing on demand. Nord Drive Systems launched its digital twin technology that it says will accelerate system development. And Reallusion expanded into a complete human-centric simulation offering, which it says bridges animation, simulation, and robotics development. On the wearables front, alongside interactions with humans, we saw Comau expand its wearable robotics portfolio with the Mate XT Go exoskeleton. And then A3, the Association for Advancing Automation, highlighted the release of its film series called The Age of Automation. This series, co-produced with BBC Storyworks, aims to show how robotics is no longer confined to industrial cages. It's becoming embedded in the fabric of everyday uses, not just industries. Investments, mergers, and acquisitions are always big news in the robotics space, and we saw more of it in February 2026. Bedrock Robotics raised $270 million to accelerate its autonomous construction technology. Robco raised another $100 million. Trenner Robotics, formerly known as T Robotics, secured a $32 million Series A funding round. Corber announced it's acquiring a majority stake in Stellium. Symbotic acquired Fox Robotics, and Adabotics relaunched as part of Lafayette Systems. We're seeing more news in the governance front as well. In the United States Congress earlier in February, bipartisan legislation was introduced called the National Commission on Robotics Act. What we see is that this signals federal recognition of robotics as strategic infrastructure and its importance to the United States manufacturing and reshoring efforts that are ongoing. Lastly, we saw A3 release its 2025 recap data, and it showed that robot orders grew 6.6% in 2025, driven largely by general industries beyond automation. All this means that automation is broadening. Our news coverage continues to expand as we see robots becoming more connected platforms, AI enabling more adaptability and accountability and autonomy, humanoids entering more real-world production environments, deployments and advancements in digital twin simulation, accelerating design, and these technologies generating more capital investment in various robotics platforms. Make sure you stick with Robotics 24/7 for all the news related to the robotics and automation industries. We're so glad that you could tune in for our February 2026 robotics recap. We look forward to seeing you on the last Wednesday of March for our March 2026 edition. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.